All right, we back on gaming. You know what? Before we get started, I have to speak on the SJW shit real quick before we get into everything else. This week has not been that bad when it comes to the actual community, once again. But there are people, again, I will have to speak on. However, most of the stuff today is mostly media. That's right. It's mostly media, once again, trying to go after the community. We will speak on this. But this SJW bullshit I'm reading on Twitter right now, because you guys and girls are sending me it, you've been asking me, I'm doing this real time, because y'all asking me, have I seen what Brianna Wu has said? And you know what? Fuck Brianna Wu, okay? Brianna Wu, you have to understand, Brianna Wu just released Super Hyper Combo Finish Rev 60 Ultimate Edition with 50% more Final Fantasy 13 corridors. No one gives a shit about Brianna Wu, okay? The fact that Brianna Wu is doing this simply because, for those who haven't been paying attention on Twitter, you wrote an article and tried to back Hillary Clinton, and they, promoted, I should say promoted you. Then you go and do something, about apparently Ralph is in jail or something, and you write this stupid fucking article about the leader of GamerGate is now in jail. Newsflash, Brianna Wu, GamerGate doesn't have a fucking leader. You understand that? Take your mental gymnastics somewhere else. Matter of fact, instead of sitting here and writing these trash-ass articles and trying to bring more attention, because in the article, you want to take the shots at GamerGate. You want GamerGate to attack you due to the fact that Rev 60 just came out, okay? That's what you want. We know that. But here's the thing. Here's another thing. Like I said, I'm going to do this in real time. I'm going to retweet this shit, all right, in real time. Because apparently, Brianna Wu has created a fake account to join the discussion group for Rev 60 over on Steam. I'm going to retweet this right now. I'm going to retweet this. I am so sick of Brianna Wu. It's bad enough that you're a horrible developer. You're a horrible human being that tries to take every tragedy and use it for yourself. But the fact that you lied to the people who supported you and told them last week they wouldn't have to buy the new version of Rev 60, what looks like absolute shit, colorized version Rev 60. Don't nobody give a shit. All right? But you want to sit here and you want to act that way. Okay? And you told them they wanted to buy, they wanted to buy it. And then you turn around and say, well, we put some hard work in this. You're going to have to buy it again. Fuck you. All right? You are one of the worst type of developers to lie to consumers and then do that to themselves. Because victim bucks. So now you got to have the machine going. Now since Rev 60 isn't getting any attention. And for what we've seen in the review section for the newest version, it's actually worse. It's worse. People are upset. And they go into detail, too, about everything, technical detail. So it's not like everyone's just going over there and pouncing on Brianna Wu's game and just, throwing hate at it. No. They're actually going in detail exactly what's wrong with it, okay? When it comes to anti-aliasing, when it comes to all of this type of stuff. They are going into detail if you look at the comments. It's absolute bullshit that you would try and pull this and then have your media run when the game comes out so you can bring more attention to it to make it look like you're a fucking victim. Fuck you. Let's move on, goddamn, let's move on. It make no fucking sense. It can't be one time where you can just, take your ass to the loony bin. Take your ass to the loony bin. As far as I'm concerned, you're ridiculous. It's bad enough you're a fucking hypocrite because you're blocking all of us now. And the thing is, remember, amplify black voices. Then when black people came to you, all right, Brianna Wu, on your Twitter, because you tried to use black people for, once again, your personal gain, they all came to you and said, hey, stop using us. What did you do? You blocked them too. But amplify black voices, right? You fucking fraud. Get the fuck out of here with this old bullshit. Let's move on to some actual news, shall we, when it comes to fucking gaming. That's right. Media, again. Let's talk about it. 11-year-old Louisiana boy finds a bag of meth in video game package at GameStop. That's right. Now, here's the biggest problem I have with this. Number one, the start of this article. Grand Theft Auto in real life. Stop. Please, just fucking stop. I swear, every time something happens, if they don't compare it to Grand Theft Auto, they compare it to what? Call of Duty. Do they not? Yeah, we'll be talking about that a bit later, too, because there are the big staples that we have to do. I will never forgive Rockstar for that shit. And for those who don't remember, Rockstar, they hired a specific PR firm to push that narrative for their game about how the game is so dangerous and it's not for kids and all this. They tried to make it edgy, and they apologize, but fuck them. Because now we have to deal with that for the rest of our lives due to the fact that every gamer that plays Grand Theft Auto is, as we've seen, they tried to link it to us being killers. Like, fuck you, fuck off. Seriously. Unreal. But, let's talk about this, alright? So, GameStop, check this out. Because the kid found a bag of meth in the game box, right? Check this out. Joey Mooring is Director of Public Relations for GameStop. Mooring told the TV station at the Grapevine, it says, Texas-based company checks was it used games for quality when customers trade them in. We know that. It says, he also says, games are checked again before shipped to another store. We know that as well, right? Now here's the fucked up part, because he's clearly fucking lying, alright? The Lake Charles store manager says employees there typically don't examine games received from elsewhere in the company. That is a bold-faced fucking lie. And I'll tell you why it's a lie, alright? Because anybody who's ever worked at GameStop or Electronics Boutique or any of those type of retail stores, when you get shipments in and you have to break down your box, for those who know what I'm talking about, okay? You have to check that stuff. Why? Inventory. You have to. So, if you have X amount of copies of the same game, those copies still have to be checked, and then they're put in the back. If you only have one copy of the game, as we know, it is gutted, and the box is put out on the fucking shelf. Don't sit here and tell me that they're not checking inventory when it comes to getting shipments, because that's bullshit. No way are you checking the game to see if the gamer had messed up the game and see if it's playable, because that's what they do, okay? Then, before you ship it out, you check the game and say, hey, to make sure it's there. All right, you're going to tell me the receiving place does not check? I have never heard of anything like that in my life, ever. It is absolute bullshit that GameStop is going to sit here and lie to people. Because anybody knows when you receive a shipment, you are checking it. You are. It's that simple. Because you have to check, because if someone else shipped it and they think it was okay, mind you, back in the day when you had the PS1 era and you had people who were using discs like hockey pucks, you had to check that stuff, regardless if it was receiving or you were sending it out. Doesn't matter. It still has to be checked by the store that's getting it, because it's product that you want to make sure that you're paying for, all right? If not, that's a loss. That's a hit. You don't want to take that. So when you get your shipment and they give you the chart, you put on the clipboard, you see the actual numbers of what's being sent to you. You know the name of the game. You know how much in quantity you get. You have to check them. It's bottom line. For this person to say, the PR person to say that, no, they didn't check them. So that bag of meth just slipped through. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not trying to hear that at all. Okay? Unreal. Fucking lying. It's all it is. Lying on top of fucking lying. GameStop, you should be ashamed of yourself. But I'll be talking about GameStop just a little bit more later. That's actually some positive news. After that, do you really want to go to GameStop? I mean, seriously. You're really making an excuse for them being inept. They're not doing their job. That's all it is. And you are the PR. But you know what? When you say some shit like that, as we know, as things are checked, you know what that means? That means you're not doing your job correctly. It means you're just playing defense. That's what you're doing. But let's move on. Let's talk about Pokemon Go real quick. Got a bit of news for you, okay? Pokemon Go buddy system coming, and there's going to be a tier list for it. That's right. So the buddy system, for those who don't know, for Pokemon Go, you will be able, as for those who see people who play the game on your map, you know how you have your character and they're walking on the map, you will be able to carry a specific Pokemon with you. You pick one Pokemon and they'll be able to walk with you. Yeah, they'll be able to walk with you. And they can get candy as they go along so they can evolve. All right, it's a buddy system. However, there is a tier list for said Pokemon, which, you know what, to me, I don't get this. I don't understand. Look, developers, you come out with all these features, haven't fixed the tracker. I just want you to fix the fucking tracker. What is the problem? And some of you have said, we're having, last week in the comments, we're having the same problem with the tracker. What tracker do you use so that we know, to use it? Because as you know, third-party apps now, if you want to use it, they don't want you to use the apps because, you'll get banned again if they already unbanned you. So, this is the way to go about it. For those who were asking in the comments last week, Poke Radar. That's right. That's what I use, and I don't use the app version. Use the web-based client. That's right. So when you're on your phone, go to your Google and go to their website. That way, it's not a third-party app. They can't get you. It's web-based. Doesn't matter. But you're still getting the same tracking information. That's how you do it. Okay? Now, let's move on. I want to talk about more Pokemon Go in Philly because I feel it's absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, tracker. Just fix the fucking thing. I don't need a buddy system or a tier list or whatever. Fix the fucking game. That's all you gotta do. Come on, man. But there's more. On my way, as you know, last weekend, I had a 10K to run. I ran for autism. And I ran into an actual Pokemon gym that was in the Northeast where I was running. So, for those that didn't see it on Twitter, this is exactly what it looked like. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with it. I think the florist, because that's what it is, that's how you promote. If you're going to be a gym, if someone's labeled you a gym, that's how you promote Pokemon to bring more business in. And I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I do find it funny that they use the flower Pokemon, grass Pokemon, florist, grass Pokemon. Yeah, I understand that. However, like I said, I don't have a problem with that. I guess that's where most of the battles are around there. However, I will say this. For those who have not updated their Google Maps, and we need to talk about this, Google Maps has now added a feature, that's right, called Catching Pokemon, that's right, in Google Maps, so now that Google Maps can remember the times and places that you have caught them on your timeline. That's right, let's look at it. Also, Sony is talking about getting into the mobile game business now since they're citing that Pokemon Go has, had such great success. So we'll see with that as well. Now, I want to move on because we think we've spent a little bit too much time on Pokemon this week. I want to talk about the fighting game community because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the fighting game community this week. So, let's start. And we just talked about GameStop, but let's talk again. GameStop, for those who don't know, Under Night and Birth, that's right, is now at GameStop for $20. Brand new. Alright, just giving you that news. Now, we need to have this talk about a certain individual who keeps talking trash. And we talked about him last week, and apparently there has to be an update to this. Because I told you, hip-hop gamer, hip-cop gamer, hipster shield gamer, alright, whatever you want to call him. The fact is, once again, he is up to this bullshit with the fighting game community. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, last week we talked about how he was trolled, right, by Xmarks. Now, for those who don't know what happened since then, Xmarks released a video, alright, talking about how stupid hip-hop gamer is, okay? Absolutely insane and stupid how he is, alright? You can't save him. That's pretty much the gist of the video. Calling him a fraud, the biggest fraud, I believe he said, on YouTube. So, that's what he did, right? Then afterwards, right? Afterwards, he went back to trolling. He said to hip-hop gamer, I heard you were in an MKX tournament, so I'm wondering if we can play a first to 5. And what did hip-hop gamer do? He decided, yo, dog, I'm gonna give you my screen name so we can play. You cannot be this fucking stupid. I mean, people have made videos showing that you've been trolled. Xmarks himself made a video going after you again. And yet you still put him on your list to play MKX. Now, the reason this came up is because with MKX, apparently, Hipster Shield Gamer went to some corporate event, right? And there was an MKX tournament. And the corporation who were holding the tournament, they were like, it's about to get popping in here. Mortal Kombat, you know what I mean? Mind you, they spelled Mortal Kombat with the C. Yeah, Mortal Kombat tournament, getting ready to get into here. It's getting ready to get popping in here at a corporate event. So, we're looking at the pictures. And what's going on? There's like 20 people at the corporate event. There's balloons and all this crap. There's sponsors. Nobody's really playing MKX. Of course, Hip Hop Gamer disrespects himself completely because he's got the Atlanta starter pack on. And for those who know what I'm talking about, he's got a tank. You're at a corporate event. You got a tank top on, some bum-ass shorts, and an Atlanta Falcons hat. What's up? You don't have any self-respect. This is not about the hood meeting corporate. No, you still go dressed in a specific fashion if it's going to be a corporate event, idiot. That's what you do. But, they had this MKX tournament, and apparently he was in it. We haven't seen any footage of it, but he's been in it. All we saw was a picture of him recording. That's all we saw, okay? That's what we saw. But he was in it, so Xmarks decided to challenge him. First to 5. That was on, and when you saw that screenshot, that was on September 2nd. Yeah. They still haven't played. No, not at all. See, Xmarks have constantly messaged him saying, look, I'm available today if you want to play. I'm busy, dog. Okay, well, Labor Day weekend I can play at 5 if you want. That's fine. Busy, dog. Why didn't you just tell him in April? I'm seriously, why didn't you just say that? Because every time he keep asking you, you keep saying you busy. It's a first to 5, okay? And if it's anything like I think it is, as you're free, because I'll put it like this, I will go on a limb and say that you are free as fuck in Mortal Kombat X. You are a free bird. You about to get the shit tattooed around your neck, Birdman. Put some respect on that. But the fact is, you are not good at any of these games. And it's clear, because we saw that with Tekken. We'll talk about Tekken in a minute about you. Yeah, we will. But the fact is, You keep ducking people left and right, and people keep asking. I play like this. You've ducked people in Street Fighter after talking shit about them. You've ducked people in King of Fighters. You've ducked people in MKX. You're ducking your own fans. Ask you to play with them in Tekken. You duck them. I've never seen a person duck so many people, but keep talking shit about how good they are. Literally, you got on Twitter and said, nobody can beat me. That's what you said, but you're not playing no one. Yeah, no one can beat you if you're not playing anybody. Seriously, it is the equivalent of putting in a game and ducking the entire fight roster. We might as well just put a Rev 60 code in so that you can just go straight to the endings and not even play anybody. That's what you are right now, hip-hop gamer. Unreal. I don't understand this. Speaking of Tekken, like I said, I want to talk about Tekken. I do. Because, for those who don't know, that little video he put up, him coming from behind and playing Tekken, you know what I mean, and then saying, hey, you know, I can play this, I'm good, can't nobody beat me. What you didn't hear, because what was reported now, is that the next game, he got absolutely fucking washed. And when he got washed, he quit. He quit. So he lost one time, and he quit. That's what he did. So let me get this straight. You're talking to a person and a community that is known for doing a lot of round robins. When we play, you can ask anybody, when we get together and we play games, we're playing for 2-3 hours round robin. You know what I mean? You got challenged to a first to 5. And you're free as fuck, which would tell me that it would only take about 5 minutes to beat you. And you would tell me you're too busy? It would probably take you longer to hook up your fucking system than it would to play MKX with X Marks. You've got to be kidding me that you're going to just keep ducking people. Like I said, though, you play Tekken, no one can beat you. You got beat, then fucking quit. Speaking of quitting, that's right, we're not talking about right now, all right? SNK, we need to talk to you. We need to talk to you really good, all right? SNK. So this rage quitting epidemic that we've been seeing as of late. Some of you had said in the comment section last week that there is a way to get around, there's an option to get away from rage quitters. There are, okay? But not many people know it. That's the problem. So we're still waiting for SNK to give gamers a legit way of penalizing, said rage quitters. Now, as we know, SNK just not too long ago, last night I believe, did an update so that people who were having problems with online when it comes to their connection and lag and things and spikes, that has been taken care of apparently. They have ironed that out, okay? However, I need to talk about what has been going on as of late. And I told you this shit would happen. We talked about it before the fucking game came out, and a lot of people was like, nah, Vent, it ain't gonna be that big of a deal. Okay, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Let's look at this matchup. Rage quitting again. But pay attention to how auto combo in the Super is all day, every day.
Round 1. Ready, go!
Wonderful! Player 1 wins! 私の勝ちだ。
さて、イメージ通りに動けよ。俺。
Round 2 Ready, go! はい。カヨンカ。
よっと、おっと。
カヨンカ。
よっと、おっと。おっと。
カヨンカ。
よっと、おっと、おっと、おっと。よっと、おっと。よっと、あ、おっと。おっと。やっ、おっと。
カヨンカ。
よっと、おっと、おっと。
カヨンカ。フライエディションベーム。それ、カヨンカ。それ、はい。カヨンカ。
おっと。
カヨンカ。それ。
やっ。
I believe
今度の真珠お見せしましょう
Round 3 Ready Go 開運か
So auto combo in the super all day, every day, run around, roll around for an entire match. Then when you get caught and you get punished, rage quit. SNK. This is something that's got to be punished. And here's the thing, a lot of people are probably thinking, no, this is just an isolated incident. No. If anybody's been on Twitter and seen what people have been saying, a lot of people have been victim of this. And I say victim because it kills the experience of the actual matchup. That's what it does. Okay? So a lot of people are having this problem. It's almost like, I'll put it like this, it's almost like Street Fighter V, before they decided to penalize rage quitters. All those people, alright, that before they got penalized, we're being penalized for Street Fighter V, let's go over to King of Fighters now since there's no penalty just yet. That's what it seems like. We do not need players like this in the community. Take your loss like a fucking competitor. But for some reason, y'all can't do that. And some of y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. And I'm saying this because even though there are some kids, okay, the kids, they're immature, but some of you are fucking adults doing this shit, and you should know better. Seriously, if this is an arcade setting, and you putting your money up, because as you know, anyone's been to an arcade recently, I know they're rare, but sometimes games cost anywhere from they're almost like $1 now. So you telling me you're going to put $1 in the machine, I'm losing, I'm just going to walk away. You just going to leave your money sitting there? Is that what you going to do? Huh? No, you don't do that. You fight till the end. That's what you're supposed to do. But no, there's some reason these days it's just okay to quit on everything because your fucking mentalities. That's what it fucking is. Now, I'll put it like this. We talked about this a bit online, on Twitter, all right, amongst a number of us. However, I would like to open this up to the public at this point, all right? And I say this because we need to talk about the FGC and structure. You would think, and Bolt Strike brought it up very well, saying, when it comes to stuff like this and rage quitting and penalizing, for as long as you've had now, and I'm saying between all developers, all right, because we're talking standards now, when it comes to all developers and fighting games, you should have a specific standard, specific guidelines, specific rules. It's that simple. All right? These penalties should be put in place. You've had long enough online to get this shit right. You want people to pay for this stuff monthly in order to play online, but you're not giving them the features that they need to be protected. And I don't mean from fucking harassment. I mean from stupid fucking players like that. Because who wants to waste their fucking time on that shit? Huh? Who? Nobody does. It's that simple. It seems like people don't get it. The developers at this point, or even the FGC at this point, they need to raise the bar. There needs to be structure. There needs to be a standard. Just like there's a standard in your video games when it comes to features, arcade mode, versus mode, and all those type of modes. There's a standard there. Now you need to have a standard for online. Because they're not going to bring back the arcades. They're not going to bring them back. They said every once in a while they're here. But that's it. It's time that you have a specific structure, a specific standard for online play. It's that simple. A specific, shall I say, expectation. But it seems like I said, once again, the FGC wants to argue with themselves. They want to talk about who's great. At this point, people, and here's the thing, while we're talking about wanting standards and wanting structure and wanting penalties, we have other idiots who decide they want to praise people who rage quit and act like a fucking idiot. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let's look at this discussion between two gamers, all right, on Twitter about the FGC and how one guy wants to praise these guys for acting like fucking idiots where another person is not about it at all. And listen to the justification. I should say listen, but watch the justification of all of this. If you notice, they're talking about Ross. Why he rage quits and he throws controllers and he kicks stuff and he freaks out. Of course, we've covered that already. But he said he doesn't do that often. He's a great personality for FGC. If you don't stop this bullshit, Okay? This justification, childish, you're a grown-ass man justifying someone acting like a fucking child because you like them. That's what you're doing right now. You realize that? You're giving them a free pass because you like the way they play video games. That's what you're doing. Get the fuck out of here with this old bullshit, alright? The fact is, nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, should be fucking rage quit. It should be happening to begin with. It shouldn't be. But yet, you still have these dudes that you want to hold this. Like, look, when you have Filipino Champ up there, and we don't even need to fucking talk about that clown, alright? Because you already know how it is, how I feel about that dude. But fucking Ross rage quitting and acting like a little bitch, want to throw stuff and carry on, want to throw your fucking money and carry on. Oh, no, that's okay, because it only happens sometimes, and he's a great personality. I don't give a fuck about his personality. See, this is the real. You don't need personalities in the FGC. Why? Because, just like back in the day, the gameplay is what sells the product. That's what it is. It's the heat of competition that brings the drama, not people trying to create fake drama. But it seems like people don't understand that as well. It's absolutely, I sit here and I watch this shit time and time again, and how fucking stupid can people be to sit here and justify it? It's good entertainment, we're wrestling. You know, every time I keep hearing that shit about whether it's a personality or good entertainment because it's wrestling, we're going to treat it like wrestling, every time you say some shit like that, the first thing that comes out of my mouth will say, alright, you want to make it wrestling? Then don't you fucking dare ever talk about wanting to be taken seriously. Ever. Okay? We want our games to be taken seriously, but we also want the personality. We want to have people act a fool, even though it's fake. We want to create fake drama, but we want to be taken seriously. Get the fuck out of here. You can't have it both ways. No one wants to talk about that shit, though. I'm speaking too much fucking truth right now. It's not even just truth. Common fucking sense. And of course, people are going to be upset about that, too. Whatever. Be upset. The fact that we're seeing this, and people are saying it's okay. And of course you're going to have other people who say it's okay. Yeah, because they do it as well. If they rage quit, then yeah, it's okay for other people to rage quit. Of course they're going to say that shit. I like it because it's funny. Seriously, if I'm going to tune in and watch somebody play, it's because I want some competition. That's what it's supposed to be about. Because that's the fun part, the competition. Seems like a lot of people forgot that shit. If you're not up to task, you don't have the skills up to task, all right, well guess what? If you're losing, you're learning. It's that simple. But no one wants to take that mentality. No, everything has to be, I can't believe I'm losing, let me throw shit, let me break shit, grown-ass men acting like that. You won't be doing it in the arcade. You wouldn't be getting to a point, like I said, you wouldn't be getting to a point where you get so upset, where you're pulling on a joystick and ripping the shit out. No, because people would fucking stop you. They put you in your fucking place. And we don't see that enough these days. People want to act a fool. Don't throw that. What the fuck is wrong with you? Calm the fuck down. Ain't that serious. Nah, no one will talk about that shit. Justifying this type of behavior also reflects the fact that we still don't have it. We talked about it just a minute ago, about structure, about expectation, about penalties. This is why you don't have these things yet. It's disgusting. It really is. But you want to know what's more disgusting? Yeah. Let's talk about the media again. Kotaku. For those that don't know, Kotaku decided to cover the Smash problem that we covered last week, because of the VIP treatment. But this is the way Kotaku tried to spin the actual fucking, situation. You pieces of shit. When the last... Look. We've told you before to stay the fuck out of our community because we don't need you, okay? But obviously, you're fishing, you're baiting right now. That's what you're doing. Because even though they say, oh, well, they're brawling over VIP, first off, the title's misleading, but we know you're trying to play off a Smash Brawl. I get it, okay? I get it. But you're still fucking wrong. Just because you have some people in the FGC who have an opinion, a difference of opinion, if Smash should have some VIP rooms, doesn't mean that it's a big situation. No. This has been discussed. We just discussed this on Xmon stream not too long ago, which was a really good stream. And if anyone tuned in that stream, wasn't nobody yelling at each other. Wasn't no one brawling over anything. Nobody was misrepresenting exactly what was going on within this situation. Nobody. But leave it to Kotaku to try and make this shit more than what it really is. Now, of course, the ambassadors for Smash came out and said, Kotaku, you're misleading this. You really shouldn't be doing this. This is absolutely wrong. Here's the problem with that as well, alright? The ambassadors. The very same ambassadors who said the Smash community is savage, alright? Notice you don't hear really that shit online. You don't really hear that word in real, like, when I'm in the hood, I don't hear that shit. No, you don't want to say that shit. Only online, alright? But, you want to sit here and say, yeah, this is savage, but then turn around and say, no. This is a misrepresentation of what we really are. This is misleading. No, you can't have it both ways. You can't. All right? If you want to promote yourself with this thuggery, all right, then you got to be at 100. Ain't no half-stepping here. All right? So if Kotaku's going to make that article, you can't say shit. You can't. Now, for people who are against this thuggery, all right, we can say some shit. Because, yes, it is misleading. Sit the fuck down. You didn't try to help before. And instead of the community saying, you know what? This is not only misleading, but fuck you. We don't need you. There's a reason why Kotaku's been blacklisted from other places. There's a reason. You didn't go that route. That's the problem. You're not taking it head on. You're not saying, okay, you want to take a punch at me? I'm going to have a counter punch back. You're not doing that. Instead, you blow up to a little fucking shell. That's what your ambassadors just did for you. That's what they did. Look, FGC, you know you have your own media. And even though there's problems within your own media in the FGC, because we've talked about this before, how you won't promote but certain things, but if there's some drama that comes along, or somebody says something, a big fighting game, personality on YouTube, then you'll promote it. You'll write an article on that. Or you'll play the divide and conquer role and say, I don't know what y'all been talking about. Street Fighter's pretty good. Y'all in denial. That's what the basics of your articles sum up to. Alright? But Kotaku, I will say this. You don't do anything fucking positive. Because even though I'm calling out the FGC's media, at least at times, they do promote positive shit. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, because Kotaku, you could have easily covered this, but you didn't. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, alright? Korean FGC in July hosted a tournament for Bishop Shatterstar Wagner. For those who know what I'm talking about, for his cancer treatments. We've talked about this time and time again on here. But they actually held a tournament for that. There's a lot of Smash was being played on that tournament. Didn't see Kotaku cover that, did they? No. Actually, SRK had to cover that. You know what I mean? Didn't get much coverage, but still, it was covered. You know what I'm saying? All right. Kotaku. Speaking of more positive news, because you don't want to promote positive news, Destiny community has raised $500,000 for charity. Don't see you talking about that. Not much. No. Something that should be celebrated. But you're not talking about that much, are you? No. There's more. That's right. Kotaku, for some more, to talk about positive news. Can video games save the world? Using games to inform society of climate change. It's about saving the animals. Yeah. Kotaku, not talking really about that, are they? No. Instead, you want to talk about the rifts between what other people in the FGC and their little subdivisions, their sub-games, and how they have a difference of opinion on who should get certain treatment. Yeah. That's what you're doing. Divide, conquer. And then when you're speaking about that, at the end of it all, you sum up the entire FGC as being this bad. No. That's not going to fly. While I understand what you're trying to do, you've been told before about this type of shit, and yet you still keep doing it. Misrepresented? Possibly. Alright? Misleading, the title? Definitely. But Kotaku, you should be ashamed of yourself to the fact that you haven't covered anything positive about the Smash community. Alright? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, just not too long ago, as you know on Twitter, on Labor Day, I have some family that's getting ready to go into the tournament here in Philadelphia. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, next week, Smashadelphia 2. And on short notice, I asked anybody from the Smash community if they could, play with him, to get some practice for my family, because he was getting ready to go into this tournament. And guess what? Smash community came through and made it a great day for him. He was humbled. He was happy. You made the guy's day. That's the positive things I'm talking about within the Smash community. You know what I mean? That's the positive type of stuff. But Kotaku wouldn't know these type of things if they're not part of the community. See, if they're not actually playing these games, then they wouldn't know. They wouldn't. Instead, just look online and see all the arguing going on and just be like, okay, I can write an article summed up based off of X amount of tweets. That's what you do. and then you call it an article and say that's the story. No, that's not the whole fucking story. But of course, you're not going to do that. Because let's be honest here, a lot of your articles sum up to 3 paragraphs. You can't sum up everything that's going on in 3 paragraphs, especially unless you're going to tell the truth, which was, hey, there were some guys who had a difference of opinion on the situation. Hell, that's all you had to say. It's not even newsworthy. We talk about because it's within our community. So that's different. You talk about it and then say, both the communities going against each other, and then paint a whole picture to make the entire community look bad. Fuck you. But since you want to play that role, Kotaku, and say, well, the Smash community, they're at each other's odds, or the FGC in general are at each other's odds because they're always fighting back and forth, and trust me, we've covered that already, have we not? But let's talk about this then. Since that is such a a tough issue for you, and you're going to make an article about that, then why didn't you make an article about this show that actually put Tekken players and Street Fighter players at odds?
Tekken. A popular choice in the room. Ellie, tell us more.
Well, if beat-em-ups could fight amongst themselves, Tekken would come out on top. Let's have a look. The original Tekken was released in 1994. It was one of the first fighting games to showcase 3D graphics, the first PlayStation game to sell 1 million copies, and the first beat-em-up to feature a kangaroo in a bikini called Roger. Tekken was created by Katsuhiro Harada. He was worried his family would think the game was too violent, so he kept his job a secret from them for 10 years. His cover was blown when his mum saw him promoting Tekken 5 on the front of a magazine. Harada was sent to bed without any tea, which was particularly embarrassing as by then he was 34. Today the game is still popular with fans, and there's even a Tekken museum in Osaka. Here you can see memorabilia, original artwork, and life-size statues of Jin and Kazuya. Don't know about you, but I'd swap those for the Elgin marbles any day.
So that's Tekken 2, I have to say. David. Steve, what are your plans right now?
And fighting game, I do like fighting games. I'm all right at Virtua Fighter. I'm good at Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat was a load of photos sort of stuck together-ish. You made the move on these different photos.
David James, this is an audience of people whose entire life is video games. You've essentially insulted their sister at this point.
Don't get me started on Street Fighter.
Oh shit.
I used to like Street Fighter.
Right. And then what happened?
Tekken came along.
He's right.
Wow.
He's right.
No, he's not.
never
Do you
played
know,
Tekken.
but do you know what that
That's
is? It's people.
Now, as you can see, they're at odds with each other. They're having differences of opinion. Do they look like they're yelling at each other or anything? No, they're just having a talk, right? All right. So it tells me it's the same way on Twitter. It's almost like Kotaku looked at those tweets and was like, "Well, we're reading text as if somebody's always yelling." That's what it seems like. That's why I got on Leffen last week, because when you look at those, those tweets, you look at them, and you're like, okay, people are just talking. They're not yelling at each other. They're just talking. That's how you're taking it. And he's like, oh, all the hate that's going on, shut the fuck up. It's not hate. People are just actually talking. What's the problem? And it seems like Kotaku still seems to try and make more than what it really is. Once again, creating drama that's not really there. Maybe they took a cue from Ross. Just saying. But the fact is, this is something that, as we know, we're always going to have a difference of opinion. If you like King of Fighters more than Street Fighter, you're going to say that. If you like Tekken more than Street Fighter, okay. If you like Street Fighter more than whatever, that's fine. It's people talk. That's what they do. They have a right to an opinion when it comes to that. You know what I mean? But you don't see the media running every 5 seconds and, they're doing this, they're doing it. No, you don't see that. Leave it to Kotaku to try and bait people and mishandle the entire situation. Then again, their professionalism, I guess you can't say it's mishandling. This is almost par for the course for them. Because that's how bad they are. But it's definitely misleading. And it's disgusting that you would go this route, Kotaku. It is. Now, let's move on to Fighting Game of the Week, shall we? That's right. Let's talk about it. Now, of course, this one, a little different than usual. Alright? Going really back. Still Neo Geo, going back. Okay? Some of you have sent me this. We've talked about this on Twitter, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. Like I said, I will get to other ones. But let's take a look at, I don't want to say dated, because it does deserve a remake. I feel, once again, it deserves a remake. This is one of those games that does not need to go away if you do it right. But just check out the combo work when it comes to Savage Rain. mechanics added into that game. It could be fleshed out more. It could be a competitor. I'm just saying. This is something that I feel as though, once again, needs to be remade. And like I said, with more games coming out, your community thrives more. That's all I say, right? Okay. Let's move on, because I'm done with the fighting game news. Let's move on to some of the ridiculous stuff that's going on right now with developers, shall we? Okay. WB. I don't think I really need to say anything else after that. WB. All right. Batman, all right, Return to Arkham, remaster of Asylum and City, all right, is coming. Now, there's been a lot of people already saying that this game looks worse than the PS3 versions. All right, it's coming to PS4. So, I don't know why they're doing this, but a lot of people are still complaining because they haven't fixed Arkham Origins or released the Game of the Year version for Arkham Origins or for Arkham Knight. So why are you doing this? Don't you think that you would worry about those things more first before anything? But leave it at the WB, once again, to try and gouge you for your money instead of just giving you what you want. All right? Not to mention, you haven't fixed a lot of this stuff. You need to fix these things first before releasing, or, like I said, Game of the Year condition, bundle them up so that you can, so gamers can get their full content while having to be nickeled and dimed. But WB, once again, being the offender that they are and don't want to do right by the consumers, at this point, look, I understand people love Batman, but WB can eat a dick. As far as I'm concerned, they're horrible. They're horrible. But speaking of more horrible things, Ubisoft. We all know about them. Ubisoft. Rainbow Six Siege survey hints at a second season pass. Don't people get tired of shit? Don't people get tired of season pass? Like I said, remember, started with microtransactions. No, first it started with DLC, then microtransactions, now season passes. Now, like I said, they're just going to keep getting you, and keep fucking getting you. Because that's what they do. So sick of this shit. Seriously. But in more news, maybe this is positive news. I don't know. Capcom. That's right. Devil May Cry 5. Yeah, let's talk about it. For those who don't know, Devil May Cry 5 will not be, or so we're hearing, at Tokyo Game Show. It won't be there. However, there is an article that is talking about how it may be at a PlayStation meeting. So we're not sure just yet. I'm going to chalk this up to rumor just yet. Until we see something that says, look, we can put our hang our hats on it and say, that's Devil May Cry 5. I would take this with a grain of salt. Don't get too attached to this. Okay? So we'll see what happens. As we know, they're having their conferences very soon. I believe it's today, aren't they? So we'll see what happens, what comes out and everything. So, and more news. And this is directed towards a specific person who decided to lay into me because I had talked about this a couple months ago. And I said the game was going to be bad. And they were like, no, you're wrong for saying that. And you should be ashamed of yourself. And this game's going to be great. Let's talk about Metroid Federation Force. For those who don't know, Metroid Prime Federation Force flops in UK debut. That's right, it's not even close to being a sellable game. Now, for those who have played this game already, you know and I know that this game is absolute ass, alright? We know what's going on with Samus at the end. For those who do not know these details, this game is horrible. But I just wanted to put this out there because when I talked about, Federation Force, remember before I said when it was announced that people really this is not what they wanted. They wanted a real Metroid. They didn't want Federation Force. I had a guy come in and lay into me. I mean, was just like, you're absolutely wrong. I can't wait to buy this game. It's going to be great. You should be ashamed of yourself for even saying it's going to be bad. Because yeah. Trust me, I was read the riot act on this one. But as you know, Federation Force was horrible when it was released and is doing horrible in the UK. So, thank you very much. Now, let's move on to more things that are horrible. That's right. Madden. Fucking Madden. Madden 17 sales have improved due to realism. Or at least that's what EA is credited by. So, let me get this straight, alright? Gamers tell you that they don't want that much realism because your game has been sucking for a long time. And that they want, they want the fun back in the game, and you want to keep adding realism. And you're saying that's the reason why people bought your game. No, I think the reason people bought your game simply is because annual game. I think at this point they felt as though they bought into the hype that this game is going to be the game, okay? And they ran and bought it, just like they do every other year. Here's the thing. When you sit here and say that people, it's selling because it's so realistic, I've seen on your Twitter, I've seen on your Facebook, I've seen just in general on forums, people don't want that crap. This is the type of stuff that they want back in the games. Because a stretch of the imagination and fun It's not allowed. Not allowed at all. I mean, let's be honest here. We have seen this time and time again when it comes to, IPs and games. As you notice, we started getting, remember MLB Slugfest? Remember, it had to be taken away because players were punching each other, and the MLB thought, oh, well, we can't have that anymore. We need to be represented correctly, which is why you don't have another one of those, just for those who didn't know, okay? NBA Street, oh, it's too much like Street Ball. Like I said, there's a reason these games have been gone. These arcade-type games have been gone. Madden, for as far as it's come, and to have these little funny things happen when it comes to the ambulance hitting you and everything, they were funny. No one got hurt. No one was killed. But the NFL, we can't have that because it makes our product look bad and stuff. And, of course, the developers are like, yeah, we're just going to kneel to you. If we want to keep your IP. We're not going to even try and fight for what we have. Sad. It's sad. It is. Fun is not allowed anymore. Speaking of fun not being allowed, okay? Nintendo shuts down No Mario Sky. Yeah, for those who don't know that was a thing, And, check this out. Since the game has been shut down, the game actually changed and it rebranded itself, so it's still available. That's right, I will put the link in the info bar. Nintendo, once again, stop shutting shit down. Stop it. Stop. Alright? The more you shut shit down, the more I stay away from you. You have to understand that. Let these fans have their fun. It's not infringing on your IP. Nobody, look, if someone makes No Mario Sky, that's not going to say, oh, we're going to play this and we'll never play another Mario ever again. No one's doing that. Stop. All right? If you haven't realized, since they're rebranding it, all right, it's completely different when it comes to, layers and skins, so you can't, take the IP from them. It's the mechanics that people like in a game. It seems like you forgot about that. Because mechanics, gameplay. Once again, if this is the route you're going to go, Nintendo, then once again, you can do a Rev 60 as well. Put in the code and let people just go straight to the end. How about that? Let's move on. Speaking of gameplay, we have to talk about gameplay. Nier Automata, that's right. Is Platinum Games enough to save a franchise? I think Platinum can save this franchise. I think they can. Given what Platinum is experienced in when it comes to hack and slash, they can save the franchise. I think it is up to the publishers to realize what they have on their hands. Let's be honest here. Platinum did a great job with Revengeance. Great job. All right? Konami did not bank on it afterwards. That was the problem. Okay? They didn't bank on it. But we know it's a great game. Platinum did a great job on Bayonetta. As we can see, Bayonetta 2 did a great job on that. It seems like hack and slash games these days are flying under the radar. And it's like I said, a lot of people, had criticism when it came to the Transformers game. They gave a lot of criticism when it came to the Ninja Turtles game. But the mechanics in playing was still there. It seems like people don't understand what they have on their hands. And I'm really hoping that the publishers understand that Nier Automata, and I'm going to say this right now. Now, what we've seen from Nier Automata, legit. It's legit. We're not even talking about Neo, all right? We're not even talking about that. Nier, it's going to be legit. Both games, I feel, will be legit. And the last bit of news. We talked about people paying for online not too long ago when we talked about structure and stuff like that. But for those who don't know, PSN has been down for the third time in 2 weeks. You're paying for this. Third time in 2 weeks. And Sony says, it's not like a freak thing or a rumor, Sony says people were having problems, and they're trying to address it, so they're trying to fix these problems. You've got to be kidding me that these problems are existing. Look, you're paying so much to play online monthly, on these consoles. Not to mention how much these consoles cost, and now they're trying to bring out consoles annually, and don't even get me started on that shit. All right? But you're paying so much for these games, these consoles, annually, and online. Only for your service that you're paying for, to go down 3 times in 2 weeks. That's unacceptable. As from a consumer base, that is unacceptable. Sony, I will put it like this. If these things are happening, you better start giving some type of reimbursement. You better start crediting people, because that's what cable companies do and stuff like that. When something goes down and you call and complain, they credit you for X amount of months, do they not? Or we'll give you a free couple months of HBO or something. That's what they do. I think, once again, video game companies are not on the level when it comes to service, customer service, as other companies are. And I think it's up to gamers, instead of being so, how can I put this, so laid back about it. So passive-aggressive, really, because that's what it really is. You know what I mean? You've got to be kidding me that you're not getting more for your money's worth. Seriously, if a service goes down 3 times in 2 weeks, yeah, there's a huge problem, and people should be complaining to Sony and saying, look, I didn't pay all this money a month just for you to do this. I didn't pay for the year just for this to happen. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to reimburse me for my time? Because as we know, there's games that you can't play unless it's always online. I just feel as though this is one of those things where video game companies have not caught up to the rest of the world. And I think it's up to consumers to do that. But of course, consumers, if you complain about this, there's always going to be some, corporate kiss ass that calls you entitled, that calls you, spoiled. There's always going to be one. Always. What people need to realize, especially in the gaming industry, that you are no different than any other industry. For years, you got away with a lot of shit that you shouldn't have. Now, it's time that you step up to the plate and have the correct structure like other companies do. Anyways, I believe I spent a lot of time on this. I am done. Tomorrow, we will get back into Bayonetta charity stream. I want to thank everyone who's been donating. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to do, the charity stream, afterwards chopping it up, because this weekend I will not be available. I will not even be at home. So I'll figure out a way to get it to people who did get a chance to see the stream. As you know, I try to put it on YouTube, but hey, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll do it all one lump sum on Thursday, because like I said, I will not be around on the weekend. I don't know. I will figure it out. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Go have fun. Play your games. And by all means, I'm really hoping that this opens the discussion about structure, about your online. If you're going to pay money for quality, you make sure you get the right quality. I will talk to you later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.